Chukchi can sleep right on the snow and not freeze, or that their language is a real puzzle for language lovers? In this video, we'll share the most unique and funny aspects of Chukchi life. From their hilarious habits to iconic traditions, you'll definitely laugh. Don't miss it. Living in the harsh environment of Chukotka in Russia have a history that spans thousands of years. Originally part of the Eskimo Aleut language family, the Chukchi are known for their deep connection to nature and the wild landscapes they inhabit. They were primarily reindeer herders, fishermen, and hunters, relying heavily on the animals that shared the cold, barren land with them for survival. Their lives have been shaped by the unforgiving winters and the vast, divided into two main groups, the coastal Chukchi and the inland Chukchi. The coastal group focused on hunting marine animals like whales, seals, and walruses, while the inland group mainly relied on reindeer herding. These herders were highly skilled, using the animals for food, clothing, and transport. Their sleds, known as sleighs, were pulled by reindeer and were vital for their nomadic lifestyle. Life in the tundra was not easy, and the Chukchi adapted to it. Chukchi homes were made of reindeer hides stretched over wooden frames, forming a structure called a yaranga. The yaranga was portable, allowing the Chukchi to follow the herds across the frozen landscape. Inside, the family would huddle around a central fire, which provided heat and a means to cook their meals. The warmth from the fire also helped them survive the brutal cold, which could reach temperatures as low as -50 degrees Celsius. The Chukchi's clothing was made from animal skins. Chukchi culture is rich in myths and traditions. They believe in numerous spirits and deities associated with nature, and their shamans played an essential role in spiritual life. These shamans were thought to possess the ability to communicate with spirits and the forces of nature. Ceremonies, dances, and rituals were an integral part of their religious practices. The Chukchi also believed in the existence of northern light spirits, with the auroras seen as the souls of ancestors or powerful. Despite their resilience and adaptation to the harsh environment, the Chukchi have faced numerous challenges throughout their history. In the 18th and 19th centuries, Russian explorers and traders arrived on their shores, bringing new diseases, conflicts, and cultural changes. Missionaries tried to convert the Chukchi to Christianity, but the Chukchi held tightly to their traditions. It was not until the 20th century that Soviet policies began to deeply impact their way of life, forcing them into exile. Are known for their ability to withstand hardships, and their cultural resilience has helped them maintain many of their traditions. Today, although much of their traditional lifestyle has been altered due to modernization, many Chukchi still practice reindeer herding, fishing, and hunting. The Chukchi language, though endangered, is still spoken by a portion of the population. Efforts are being made to revitalize the language and preserve their culture, ensuring that the rich, fascinating aspects of Chukchi society is their folklore. Stories of supernatural creatures, such as the hairy man, a wild creature believed to live in the tundra, and the spirit of the sea, have been passed down for generations. These tales were often used to explain the mysteries of the world around them and were an essential part of their oral tradition. Elders would gather the younger generation to tell these stories around the fire, fostering a sense of community. Chukchi have also gained attention for their distinctive way of speaking. Their language, Chukchi, is part of the larger Chukotko-Kamchatkan language family and is characterized by its complex grammar and vocabulary. Chukchi words often have multiple meanings, and the language has no direct equivalent for certain concepts, making it uniquely suited to the Chukchi worldview. The language is deeply intertwined with their cultural identity, and preserving it is seen as vital to maintain. Chukchi art and craftsmanship are also integral parts of their culture. Traditional crafts, such as carving, beadwork, and the creation of intricate masks and clothing, reflect the Chukchi's deep connection to the natural world. Their art often depicts animals, spirits, and the landscapes of their homeland, showcasing their reverence for the environment and the creatures they share it with. Today, these crafts are not only a part of Chukchi identity, but are also valued as cultural treasures. Necho went hunting deep in the tundra. He got lost in a blizzard, and when the storm cleared, he realized he was in an unfamiliar place. A deep silence surrounded him, and suddenly from afar, he heard a whisper. He looked around, but no one was there. The next morning, as Neko tried to return home, he noticed footprints that led in the direction he had come from. But these footprints were leading back to where no one was. When a Chukchi named Yaku grew older, he often heard from the elders stories about how, in the polar night, a mysterious creature would appear on the tundra, screaming into the darkness. One day he found himself in such a situation. Alone in the remote tundra, the longest night of the year began to fall. Suddenly, from the darkness, a terrifying scream rang out. Not a human voice, but something utterly unnatural. Yaku froze in fear, and when the scream ceased, there lived a reindeer herder named Fyodor. He was known for his bravery and ability to find his way even in the harshest blizzards. But one day Fyodor disappeared while out hunting. His tracks led into the forest and then vanished. The Chukchi searched for him for a long time but never found him. Several years later, one of the hunters returned from the very same forest where Fyodor had gone missing. He was pale, his hands covered in strange, been passed down through generations. On nights when the blizzards are especially fierce, the elders share them with the younger ones to remind them of what might lurk in the tundra and the forest. Sometimes Chukchi people face many challenges. The effects of climate change are particularly visible in Chukotka, where rising temperatures threaten the migration patterns of reindeer and the survival of traditional hunting grounds. Additionally, the encroachment of industry and the growth of urban areas have placed pressure on the land and the Chukchi's way of life. Despite these challenges, the Chukchi continue to adapt and find ways to preserve their traditions while engaging